I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Moore,
Here.
Councilman Neely,
Present.
Councilman Iacilli.
Here.
Councilman Pell,
Here today.
Councilwoman McNamara.
Here. Thank you. So we'll start the work session off with a review of the draft agenda. There's going to be 2 public hearings, that's it. The first is to consider amending Town Code Chapter 111, beaches, parks, and waterways as it relates to particular parking permits. And the second public hearing is to consider the adoption of the Community Preservation Fund Water Quality Improvement Project Plan update with expanded priority area maps for IA sanitary system grant funding eligibility. That's that thick book that Janice gave us.
It's also online now.
Oh, good. All right, so let's get started with the resolutions. Bill, you're up.
Resolution 2026-0182, reject all bids for dispose and recycle service for mixed paper and corrugated cardboard. Resolution 2026-0349, authorize supervisors to sign contract with L.K. McLean Associated Engineer Survey DPC for professional engineer service associated with design permitted for stormwater quality improvements at Corwin Lane in Hampton Bays, New York. This is another good project funded by the water quality people and the
And
highway.
implemented by the highway.
Yes, it's also tied in with the trustees and the boat ramp and the whole area down there.
All good stuff. Town Board Resolution 2026-0350 to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract extension with Messiano Consulting, Inc. for grant writing assistance.
Town Board Resolution 370 of 2026, recall and rescind Town Board Resolution number 2025-1452, authorize the supervisor to sign a contract extension with Coastal Commercial Property Management, Inc. for irrigation maintenance and repair.
Town Board Resolution 2026-0372, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to apply to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation related to sand distribution at the Tiana Bayside facility. Town Board Resolution 2026-0375 to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract extension with Suffolk County Soil and Water Conservation District to provide part-time coordinator services for the Peconic Estuary Protection Committee.
Resolution 2026-0380, authorize the supervisor to execute a lease agreement with the Suffolk County Office for the Aging for a 12-passenger bus. Resolution 2026-0400, authorize the supervisor to sign agreements for senior services programs.
Resolution 2026-0417, co-sponsored with the supervisor Marie Moore. Authorizes the supervisor to sign contract with Renewables Recycled, Inc. to provide mattress and box spring recycle program.
Town Board Resolution 2026-0418 to authorize the purchase of computers for the Bay Constable vehicles from Island Tech Services LLC using Omnia Partners contract number as indicated for mobile computing solutions. And Town Board Resolution 2026-0419 to recall and amend Resolution 2024-842 to authorize the supervisor to sign DPP with Toshiba America Business Solutions, Inc. for copy machines from Eastern Suffolk BOCES contract. Town Board Resolution 2026-0420 to authorize the purchase of one 2026 Ford F-350 Super Chaz cabin from Olath Ford Sales, Inc. Sourcewell contract number as indicated for automobiles, SUVs, vans, and light trucks with related equipment and accessories.
I believe it should be a super chassis cabin.
What do you think it's supposed to be? Super chassis?
Could be a super one.
Super Chaz.
But it's wrong throughout the entire,
Yeah, something's wrong, it's not.
Maybe that's what it's called.
I don't know.
A super jazz cab.
Okay. Can always amend it later.
Resolution 2026-421, authorizing the supervisor to execute a 2026 Youth Bureau agreement with the Youth Bureau Program Consultants.
No. It's chassis.
It is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be CHSSIS. So, Madam
it now.
Clerk, could you,
Is that your new supervisor call? Yeah.
Why doesn't she,
Tatiana,
yeah,
correct it
there's a
and send
lot
it to
going
the-
on in here, right? We'll work on it with her.
oh, okay, all right. Okay, chassis. Michael, did you just read yours?
Yes.
Town Board Resolution 2026-0422 to authorize the supervisor to sign the 2026 agreement with Penflex, Inc. for the Defined Benefit Service Award Program. Town Board Resolution 2026-0423 to authorize the supervisor to execute any and all documents with Hawkins, Delafield, and Wood LLP to provide arbitrage rebate calculation services. Town Board Resolution 2026-0437, co-sponsored by Councilmember Pell, to authorize the supervisor to execute a contract with Universal Testing and Inspection Services for professional services relating to special building inspections at the West Hampton Community Center. Town Board Resolution 2026-0450, to authorize the supervisor to execute a contract with Edward Wolfersdorf to assist with the review of backlogged permit plans in the Department of Land Management.
Resolution 2026-0451, authorize an amendment to the contract with Oliver Packaging and Equipment Company as sole source provider of complete systems packaging trays for senior services.
Resolution 2026-452, co-sponsored with Supervisor Moore, authorize the supervisor to sign a no-cost contract extension with Fortunato Sons Contracting, Inc. for Southampton Animal Shelter kennel replacement.
It's going pretty well, right?
It's going very well. Yeah, they're making the final renovations. Everything is in, so.
Beautiful.
Great.
Resolution 2026-0448, co-sponsored with Supervisor Moore. Notice to bidders for purchase of one automatic baling machine, bid number BP 2026-0010.
Bill, is this for the cardboard?
I think so.
Cardboard
Do you know
baler.
when it's coming and when it's going into service?
No, but we should find out, because once we go out to bid and buy it, I don't think the machine should be sitting around and waiting for stuff. They should be already prepared.
Like, there should be a pad for it or whatever they need in
Yeah.
place, and,
Because that happened before, the other machines they bought, it's just sitting there waiting for electricity, and it's a lot of money tied up and it's sitting outside.
yeah, if
Yeah.
we put a bad bid, we should be ready for it.
Did it say the bid return date, or just saying, you can pick up the packets March 5th?
Yeah.
Probably at least 30 days,
Yeah,
but
Tom's
that's,
probably watching this, so he can, when we see him, he can give us the information on when
Yeah.
he expects this equipment to be up and running.
Okay.
it's
Thank you
great
for
that
asking.
it'll be, take up a lot less space
Yes.
once we have that.
And should be put inside and, not outside in the weather
But you saw how they have it set up
in
in East Hampton, right?
East Hampton, yes.
It was inside?
It was inside in a big tin building.
Oh, nice.
Can't leave that, you can't have that stuff sitting outside.
Town Board Resolution 449 of 2026, notice to proposers for sailing at Tiana Bayside, bid number as indicated.
Town Board Resolution 2026-373 to accept payment from Southampton Volunteer Ambulance attributable to the new ambulance facility located at 1256 North Sea Road in North Sea. That's good. We need to offset the purchase price. Town Board Resolution 2026-0428 to authorize the funding transfer for the Animal Shelter IA system from Water Quality Grant Awards for Round Pond Stormwater and Restoration WQIP project.
Sunday, maybe, can I be added to that?
Town Board Resolution 2026-0439 to amend the 2025 adopted budget for special events. Town Board Resolution 2026-0440 to amend the 2026-2030 capital budget and to add a capital project, Jackson Avenue redevelopment. And that's for the Justice Court design, the design for the new Justice Court. Resolution 2026-0441 to amend the 2026-2030 capital budget for town facilities upgrades. And Town Board Resolution 2026-0442 to amend the 2026-2030 capital budget for the West Hampton Activity Center.
Can I be added to that, please?
I feel like we did those resolutions already.
I think so.
All right. I'll check on it, yeah. And Town Board Resolution 2026-0289 to authorize the continuation of legal services by Morgan, Lewis, and Bacchius LLP on behalf of the town of Southampton. Town Board Resolution 2026-0290, continuation of legal services by Steve Leventhal Esquire for the ethics matters in 2026. Town Board Resolution 2026-0379 to authorize the town to reimburse New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal the deductible for liability and property damage claims. Town Board Resolution 2026-0432, the continuation of legal services by Coughlin and Gerhardt LLP to provide legal services regarding personnel matters relating to the Southampton Town Police Department for 2026.
Town Board Resolution 443 of 2026, resolution of adoption amending Town Code Chapter 111, beaches, parks, and waterways in connection with special parking permits. That's contingent on the public hearing. Town Board Resolution 467 of 2026, co-sponsored with Councilman Pell, resolution of adoption enacting Chapter 263 entitled Registration of Vacant Buildings. Town Board Resolution 416 of 2026, authorization of cost reimbursement waiver for the Hampton Bays Hibernians Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 21st, 2026, from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Town Board Resolution 425 of 2026, waive portable stage fee for inlet-to-inlet beach cleanup and fall fair fundraiser. Town Board Resolution 466 of 2026, recall and amend Town Board Resolution 2026-0273, waive a portion of the showmobile and generator fees for West Hampton Chamber of Commerce Spring Fling Festival. The original resolution only had the rain date.
The original resolution didn't have a rain date?
It had the rain date, but not the actual date.
Oh, okay. Town Board Resolution 2026-0346, co-sponsored with Councilman Neely, to authorize the acceptance of a maintenance bond in connection with a site plan known as Miragim LLC. Town Board Resolution 2026-0424, authorizing the release of a maintenance bond in connection with the site plan known as J.L. Rivkin. Town Board Resolution 2026-444, the release of a performance bond as it relates to 7 Red Creek Park in Hampton Bays. Town Board Resolution 2026-0310, to accept the resignation of John McDonald. Town Board Resolution 2026-0394, to appoint Lynn Ann Hertas to Building Permits Examiner position in Land Management. Town Board Resolution 2026-0397, to appoint John Hutchinson to Maintenance Mechanic 3 position in the Parks Department. This next resolution has to be corrected. But, okay, Town Board Resolution 2026-0399, to appoint Julie Fitzgerald to Community Development Program Analyst position in the Housing and Community Services. It's just that the body of it, there's some errors.
Some wrong people and wrong
I
departments.
see, yes.
So that'll be corrected for the board
Well,
meeting.
someone, yes, we will contact personnel to let them know.
Okay, thank you. Town Board Resolution 2026-0402, to appoint Candy Hodges to principal office assistant position in human resources. What, how do you say it?
No, it's,
Oh.
you're for fun. It wasn't my
Town
fault.
Board Resolution 2026-0403 to appoint Colleen Tui Jones to website manager position from civil service list. Town Board Resolution 2026-0414 to appoint Johnny Bedell to scale operator position from the civil service list. Town Board Resolution 2026-0415 to appoint Jerry Sharada to scale operator position from the civil service list. Town Board Resolution 2026-0430 to appoint Miranda Yules to public safety dispatcher position in the police department. Town Board Resolution 2026-0431 to appoint Danielle Vianney to public safety dispatcher position in the police department. Town Board Resolution 2026-0463 to appoint James Gormley to Geographic Information Systems Supervisor position in GIS.
Resolution 2026-0412, notice a public hearing to amend Chapter 312, Vehicle and Traffic, Section 312-20, Hampton Bays, subsection 34. This is for no parking on Gravel Hill between 7:30 and 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, from the 15th of September to the 15th of May.
How did this one come up?
The neighborhood was complaining about the kids parking on there. There was no parking on one side, but they were parking on the other side, parking on the lawns, and walking across.
Chasing these kids around Hampton Bays.
Does anybody want a work session, or we can go right to the public hearing? And will someone come and talk to Charlie? or something? Okay.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Town Board Resolution 2026-1433, road review application for LKE South Beach LLC, Suffolk County tax map number as indicated, situated at Shinnecock Hills, is accepted. Town Board Resolution 2026-0434, road review application for TPD South Beach LLC, Suffolk County tax map number as indicated, situate at Shinnecock Hills, is accepted. And Town Board Resolution 2026-0435, road review application at application for Tomaz and Iwana Wojciechowski. Suffolk County tax map number is indicated, situated at South Shinnecock Hills, is accepted. And Town Board Resolution 2026-0436, a road review application for Thomas and Linda Chausis.
There's no Smiths here.
Suffolk County tax map number as indicated, situate at Quiog, is accepted. Well, that's it for the agenda. No walk, no walk. I better figure out how to pronounce his name before the meeting. So in a minute, our youth bureau will come in for a presentation. Are they here, Janice? Oh.
No, how many's gonna sit up here?
There are some extra chairs on the side if you'd like. We're going to have a presentation from the Youth Bureau. Tracy Colson is here, our Youth Bureau Director, along with some students who attended the Youth Leadership Conference in Albany. Thank you for coming. Come on up. We want to hear all about your trip.
Okay,
perfect, actually, that's more
It's
than.
an inclusive, that's what
Jordan,
we
who comes in?
do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ah, and Kara Backus,
Yes.
Director.
Everyone's.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Morning, thank you for your time.
Morning.
Everyone can introduce themselves.
You too. So, Tracy Colson, Director, Southampton Town Youth Bureau.
Sophia Colson, member of YAC.
Hi, Jennifer Santiago, a member of YAC and Youth and Government, and I'm from Southampton Beach High School.
Hello, Jordan Colson, member of YAC, and I am also from Southampton Beach.
I'm Kara Conklin Wingfield. I'm the Youth Services Specialist with the Youth Bureau.
And I'm Kara Back. I'm the Director of Housing and Community Services.
Thank you. And I wanted to thank you for the time.
Be nice without your dogs.
And all
But-
bundled up.
So actually, before we start, I wanted to take the time to actually thank this board for being attentive to the community needs. Right now, we are actually going through a mental health crisis, and sometimes we can't. Sometimes things are out of our control and what we could actually do. But what's important, and this is something that we actually speak to our youth and our programs about, is if you can't do anything, at least you can be there to actually listen. And this is what this board, and also I also want to say Councilman Rick Martell as well was able to do a couple of months ago regarding being able to be there for the community and to listen what everybody is actually going through right now. So we're dealing with a mental health crisis. And we're dealing with a mental health crisis that's similar to what we've dealt with a couple of years ago during COVID. There is so much fear, anxiety, and depression that is happening in our community right now, and of course with what we've been hearing nationally. So we have kids who are afraid to come to programs. We have kids, we have parents who are actually afraid to leave their homes to come pick kids up from programs. And this fear and anxiety really is taking effect on mental health of our youth and again of our families. So a prime example of this is our teen assessment survey. So the teen assessment survey is a survey we do every 2 to 3 years, and what it is, it's an assessment of where our kids are at. And we work with all the schools within Southampton Town, and this year we've expanded it. Also, thank you to the East End Partnership, to a couple of other schools across the East End. But primarily for the past 20 some odd years, we've been actually doing this within Southampton Town and all the districts taking place. It's a survey that gets sent out every 2 or 3 years to our 8th graders, 10th graders, and 12th graders, and asking them questions about, what their beliefs are regarding drug and alcohol use, what their beliefs are regarding depression or mental health. And it gets really to give us an idea of where we need to look at and what program that we need to do. This is the first time in the history that this teen assessment survey has been given that some of our schools have chosen not to participate in that. They've chosen that because they don't want to be identified as a community that has a vulnerable population. So this is just the level of fear that we're actually coping with and dealing with now. So just to put that in some perspective.
How many schools did not participate?
I could talk off record about that. All right. So again, I've been bringing it back to, again, thank you for listening, because this is what our community needs right now. All right. So to get started, and actually this is what is on the monitors, but we have some folders as well, and this is our...
Want me to take them and pass them?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Cindy. And this is our annual report that we produce every year, annually. So going forward, as I go through this report and describe what we've done last year and our progress and what we're going ahead this year, we have some of our youth who've been utilizing our programs, including my own children, that are here actually to talk about how the programs affected them. Okay. So to start out with, in 2025, we actually had worked with 1,046 youth throughout the year. And that was regarding an array of about 30 some odd programs, working all the way from kindergarten up through 12th graders, in addition to some early high school youth as well. Now, the programs that we do is broken down in this report by youth engagement, civic engagement, supporting mental health, well-being, learning, creative community connections, and our accountability and empathy and leadership programs. So this is discuss our youth leadership and civic engagement programs. So that is actually our Youth Advisory Committee and our Youth and Government programs. Now, Sophia and Jennifer are both members of our Youth Advisory Committee, so do you want to describe what, and Jordan, I'm sorry. Do you want to describe what the program is about?
So, hi Town Board, my name is Sophia Colson and I am a member of Southampton Town Youth Advisory Committee. Every other Tuesday, YAC meets at Hampton-based Community Center to discuss community service projects and fundraisers. Recently, in January, we organized a blood drive, but we also have our annual leaf raking in the winter and pancake breakfast in the spring. We also volunteer with other events like Extreme Rec Day. After each event, members who participated will get community service hours. The most important thing about YAC is that we support each other. We see eye to eye despite our differences in age, since we are 7th to 12th grade. We all support each other and yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you for that explanation.
Okay, hi, I'm Jennifer Santiago from West Hampton Beach High School. I do Youth and Government and YAC, and I'm going to talk about Youth and Government. Youth and Government has taught me so many valuable skills and so much more, such as it has improved my public speaking, my debating skills, and it has brought a space where I am able to talk up, where I am encouraged to debate my opinions, and where even though I'm a teenager, many times people think teenagers don't have a voice or nothing, but this shows otherwise how teenagers can have an impact into their community and encourages our new generation of leaders and so much more. During my time at Youth and Government, my group developed a bill that requires practicing attorneys to take on a pro bono case, one pro bono case every 5 years. We did this seeing the critical challenge in the justice system and wanting to have no matter your background and income, for everyone to have the opportunity for a adequate legal counsel and so much more. On a personal level, coming from a low-income household, this has shown me how even though many people believe that my voice doesn't matter or anything, this program has given me the opportunity to share that what I think are issues in our community and so much more, and be able to share it and improve our community to everyone. Thank you.
Sounds like a great program.
Yes.
Very good.
And I'll also remind you too, a lot of times when we discuss the Youth Bureau and people are not familiar with what we do, they think that we're just providing here for recreation and fun and supervision. But the programs that we do here are strictly for development. And it may seem that we're here, that we're providing these fun, great programs, but they're all evidence-based approaches. And these approaches have also been studied, have been utilized, and been modeled, across the country, that we learn, we understand, and that's how we know how to build those skills. And like Jennifer was saying, in building leadership skills such as public speaking and also self-confidence.
So important to build the self-confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Jennifer, you also mentioned as far as giving youth a voice as well, and that's something we take very serious too. So it's not only with Youth in Government, but we also had the fortunate opportunity to, thank you for the board for allowing us to go. The Association of State Youth Bureaus had a youth leadership conference in February, which we were able to go up and speak with Assemblyman Schiavone and Senator Palumbo, which are both representative of our areas, and giving them an audience for our youth to speak directly to them. Do you want to say something about that?
Yes. Hello, I'm Jordan again. A bit short, but in Albany, along with the Youth Leadership Conference, we talked to our registrators, our Assemblyman Schiavone and our Senator Palumbo. Then we were invited to the assembly floor and were introduced. We learned firsthand how the government is set up and how to talk to the people who make a difference. And actually, the day before, we also, as mentioned, we went, well, you just said it,
Leadership conference.
Yes, we had a leadership conference too with them. So as long as doing this, we, the previous day, were invited by the
Assemblyman Schiavone.
No, I'm talking about the day before.
The day before?
By the association.
By the association. I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm going off what I wrote. Sorry, but by the Association of Youth Bureaus, we were invited to also do a leadership conference there as well, which was really great because it helped us learn more about leadership and what we could do to help. So both of those together really, yeah.
Thank you.
Made for a very nice experience, so
Yes.
No, it really did. Yes.
thank you.
So, and a lot of our youth could not be here that wanted to be here today on account of winter break. So we do have letters that they wanted to read. Jennifer, you have a letter? Oh, who was reading Casey's
Do you want to
letter?
read like Casey's?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. So this is Casey Farrell's letter.
So
Dear
Casey,
Supervisor Moore and all of the board, I hope you are doing well. I am writing as a student leader of the Town of Southampton's Youth Bureau Youth Advisory Committee, and as someone who has personally benefited from these programs since 7th grade. I am currently a sophomore at Southampton Beach High School, and I have had the opportunity to participate in the Albany trip every year since 8th grade. I wanted to take a moment and thank you and share how impactful this year's trip on February 2nd and February 3rd truly was. This year's visit to Albany was incredibly successful. We were able to meet with legislators, discuss key issues affecting our community, and better understand how local and state government decisions directly impact young people. As students, it is empowering to feel that our voices matter and we can contribute meaningfully to conversations about the future of our town and state. The experience continues to strengthen my interest in civic engagement and public service. Having been involved in Youth Bureau programs for several years now, I have seen firsthand how many of these opportunities shape student leaders. The Albany trip, in particular, allows us to step outside the classroom and experience government in action. It builds confidence, public speaking skills, and deeper understanding of policy and advocacy. I also want to sincerely thank you for your continued service and commitment to making this experience possible, not only by helping bring students to Albany, but also by supporting us here at home. Your involvement demonstrates to students that our local leaders value youth voices. We are especially grateful for the times town members have attended and viewed our events. Those visits make a lasting impression. As we look ahead, we would greatly appreciate continued support from the town of Southampton, whether through additional funding, town council members attending events, or guest speakers participating in our meetings. These connections strengthen our programs and inspire students to stay engaged in their community. Thank you again for your leadership and for your investing in the youth of Southampton. Your support makes a meaningful difference in our lives and in the future of our town. Sincerely, Casey Farrell, Chair of the Youth Advisory Committee, Southampton Beach High School student.
Thank you.
Very nice.
thank you for reading that, Sophia. So Eleanor's letter was more about the jobs programs, right?
It was, broader horizon.
Okay, so we'll get that in a little bit. But before we get to Broader Horizons, I want to move on to our next topic, which is supporting mental health and youth and wellness. So in 2025, we actually supported 102 youth that were referred for counseling support. As you can see, there's a chart, I need to read up there. But as you could see, the areas of counseling and really what we needed to provide. 21%, suffered severe trauma that was referred to us. 24% came with us through referrals for anxiety. 11% depression, and 20% for unspecified adjustment disorders, and also 14% for disruptive behaviors. So, as I mentioned, we had 102 youth that were referred to us that we worked with in 2025. This year alone, we are well on our way, and it's only halfway through January, to actually almost doubling that figure. So the referrals that I mentioned before that have been coming through, we're getting a lot of referrals from the schools of kids who are again dealing with anxiety and really suffering through what they're experiencing through fears for their family and fears for themselves. All right. We have a team, so there are 3 social workers on staff, including myself, and including a bilingual social worker. So between the 3 of us, we also work with social work interns, and we have 4 schools that we work with. This year, we have 2, Stony Brook we're working with, and Fordham. And normally, we also have Adelphi, and we also have St. Joseph's, and in addition to, what did I miss out? Yeah, Fordham, Adelphi, St. Joseph's, Hofstra, and
Suffolk Community
yeah,
College.
sorry. Anyway, so we have 3 interns this year that we're actually working with, that are assisting us with working with these cases. Okay. So continuing on, learning, creativity, community connections, enriching. So this is where we, again, are working with our enrichment programs. So Kara Wingfield, would you like to talk a little bit about our after-school enrichment programs?
Yes.
Thank you.
So these are all the programs that you may hear about and wonder, why does the Youth Bureau do all these different things? It's because We are youth-driven, and we need to connect with youth based on their interest. So they range from visual art to STEM, cooking, basketball, soccer, music performance, those are to name just a few. And these programs go on pretty much every day of the week, and we work with students from kindergarten up to seniors in high school. And they're very eclectic, as I said, but they're all done within the context of youth development. So one example is our cooking program is conducted by a professional chef, Chef Keith, but he's also a social worker. So we ensure that all of these programs have those elements within them of the community connectedness, building the skills within the children to, say, do cooking, but also that empowerment and connectedness. The programs with the town support are offered, many of them free, all of them at very low cost, so there aren't barriers to participate. And they are the first step to us building relationships with families and with youth so that they may then hopefully take part in other services that might benefit them or they might need. Say they would need mental health services, then the relationship is already there to ask or learn about that, or eventually become part of these youth leadership programs. So some, as Casey's letter mentioned, she started to be involved in 7th grade. Some are involved even earlier, and we have a really large township, so we could serve a lot more and do a lot more, but you find us connecting wherever we can. So our programs are in the places you expect to find them, like the community centers and the after-school spaces, but we're also connecting with agencies and libraries and even local businesses to do programs where you might not expect, say the open mic nights, which happen at coffee houses, so that we're there to connect with people who may not be looking for us. And that's how we can grow and do more of the needed services. And the beauty of it is when youth develop to the point where they get involved in programs and then are comfortable enough to share their ideas with us, and then we respond to that. And like that happened earlier this week when we were planning to come here. One of the students you're going to hear from later through her letter suggested setting up a tutoring program where we pair youth with younger children who have needs. So we have to respond to that and explore, is that already happening in the community, in libraries? Are libraries a space for that to happen? What can we do? So that's the kind of beautiful cycle that this is all about, is connecting with youth, developing over time, and
Well, thank you. You did it perfectly, and like Kara's saying also, it's about engagement. So we're here to provide these services, but it's another thing to develop that trust in the community, that trust with families to come into our door, and utilize our programs. And then by engaging them through those open mic nights or through those more recreational programs, then we can see what other services that they may need that we could provide. Nothing gets me more excited when we have a student that actually follows us through different ages, but different programs as well. When they stay involved in our programs, because that is a product of what we do and how successful we are. They feel engaged, they feel trusted, they move on ahead to other programs, and they develop those skills that we want to develop.
Could I share another great example from this past year, which is we've long had a teen nights program that happened at Ludlam Park in Flanders. And this past year, just through exploring and talking to families and seeing what happened over years, we saw that more youth were coming out who wanted to play soccer. But then we decided to move that program from Ludlam Park just across the street to Iron Point Park. Because when we were going out and looking at the parks and the different fields, we saw kids out there walking around and riding bikes. And that made that program so much more accessible by simply moving it across the street. So it's just another example of figuring out where the youth are so they can take part in our program. So
That's good to hear. And we're doing some upgrades to that park too.
Yeah,
I heard
very
that,
excited.
yeah.
That's great. So continuing on so that's our enrichment part, the services that we provide there. So moving on to, again, back to leadership and back to developing youth skills. So our youth court programs, That again, accountability, empathy, leadership. I'm sure you've heard us speak about youth court before. Kara, you've had your daughter experience youth court. Did you want to talk a little bit about it?
My daughter participated in youth court from 9th grade to 12th grade, and it was a terrific experience for her because not only did she learn public speaking skills, you know, she learned empathy and things like that. And it was a program that when she went through college applications and interviews, it was the program that kind of set her apart from some of the other applicants and was asked about it during her college interviews. And when she went up to college, somebody up there sought her out and said, hey, you know, we're thinking about starting a youth court up here in Geneva, New York. Would that be something that you could assist us with because you have the experience already? And she did, and she helped Geneva get a youth court started up there. So it's really a terrific experience, you know, something that the youth that participate in this program will take on throughout their lives.
Thank you.
I also want to say it's not even just enriching for the kids. I know Judge Pat Gunn gets so much out of it and he enjoys doing it, so.
Absolutely, yeah, and we appreciate his support as well in that program. And there are two parts to this program, and one being what those volunteers get out of this program, and that those developing those leadership skills. But in addition to that, the second part is the youth who are making poor choices. Instead of continuing those poor choices, have an opportunity to really go in front of their peers and be able to change the ways that they respond to their environment. So it's a great program. It's functional. It's a real practical program that leads kids on to making better choices and developing better patterns of behavior. Okay.
And some of those kids have gone on to participate in the youth court program after that.
Yeah.
So there's really been some terrific experiences through that program.
So then, I don't know how close or how far behind we are at 30 minutes, but in finishing up, we wanted to really touch on our other development programs, our Broader Horizons program, which is another, our job skills program. So this year, going forward in 2026, we started this in 2025, our Babysitters Club. And the Babysitters Club, we started with the Bridgehampton schools, and we were able to push in there and provide basically career development regarding babysitting. So we work with Cornell, and they offered a babysitting course of how to be responsible, what are the best ways of doing that. But it also is part of our job programs because it's an avenue to teaching kids job skills. So Jennifer, you have a letter from Eleni, who couldn't be here today. Would you like to read that letter about our Broader Horizons program?
Yes, okay, so Eleni Armijos is a junior at Southampton Beach High School and wrote a letter. So last year, I was offered the opportunity to apply for a summer internship program titled Broader Horizons. Through this, the Youth Bureau exposed me to an in-depth learning about financial management, preparation for careers, and networking. For 3 days, I was surrounded by peers with the same motivation to become more knowledgeable about our future. Adding on, a field trip provided to Broader Horizons this year was a tour inside the Riverhead Building Supply Facility. Here we got to learn management skills and explore the different careers in a company. I learned that even the simplest job has its importance to making sure a company succeeds. Thanks to the Youth Bureau, I made new friends and got to make new connections. I got to hear what others are interested in and what they do to achieve goals. This valuable occurrence is what teaches young adults like me to spread new ideas and understand others. Furthermore, this helps young adults have a sense of stability since they are learning alongside peers of similar age. Again, I would like to thank the town for providing this special resource. Many have and will continue to learn new lessons that will accompany them throughout their lives. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. So this year, as average year, we are able to put 15 youth. We get referrals for about 30 some odd kids, but we could only choose 15 be funding. So again, we're thanking the town for support for this program, in addition to the Suffolk County Department of Labor, who also provides funding for this program as well. But we're able to bring on 15 youth that are actually paid either through the county or through the town. They become employees, the same expectations as we are as employees. Which also gives them an opportunity to join the New York State retirement system. And joining the retirement system at the age of 14, waiting until you're actually out of school is great for them. And they attain skills there as well. And again, as Eleni's letter read, that these again leadership skills and how to proceed and do scholarships. Eleni was fortunate too, and I should make mention of this, those 15 programs, in fact, sometimes we're able to squeak in additional youth because Eleni had the opportunity to work with a business this year. So Sandcastle Catering, I think, or I'm getting this wrong, so I apologize on the record. But the owner that works with the concession stand over at Tiana Beach. And then he was able to take Eleni on as an intern under our program, and again, providing her pay while she was able to participate in the program too. So we want to thank our local sponsors, our local partners in this program also. Okay. So
Tracy, with that program, I think it might be important for the town board to know that you give some counseling in the beginning of the program.
Yeah.
That's right. Interview skills, how to dress professionally. That's right. Maybe you want to just let them know.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That is an important part. So the process is once we get those applications, like the 30 some odd applications, we interview each and every one of those interns. So even though if they are not getting into the program ultimately, they're still getting the skills of going through an interview, and we utilize that opportunity to give them some skills. During the interview, oh, you're not paying attention, you're not making eye contact. You should do this better on. And then from that, we pick those youth and we try to match them with what skills that they feel they want to move on to as far as careers go and where we have partnerships with. And make mention, we also partnership with our town departments. So we're actually gracious and excited that we can actually partner with our towns, and we made a lot of successful connections. We had some partners in the town attorney's office as well, so that's some interns in prior years. So, but prior to them starting in those departments or for those businesses, as Kara was mentioning, we give a 12 to 15-hour job skills training. So myself and Peter Strecker, who's now taking over for that program, the kids come here to Town Hall, and they come here for 3 or 4 days, and they, as Kara mentioned, we give them all those skills that they need. We go interviewing. We also work with Southampton PD. Have an officer come in, and they also provide an approach and how you present and how you approach. So they've been wonderful there also. So we do financial literacy. We have again other guest speakers that come in, and just to kind of getting them squared away and what the expectations are before that. So once they complete those job skills training, then they go in and they start their jobs. Okay, and that's a 6-week program. So they do that 6 weeks of the summer. All right. So that's moving on. That's our broad horizons. And I know I said 30 minutes, and I'm probably over. I apologize. I could probably speak for hours of what we do and what you do. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's still on task. But and I mentioned too, working with other departments. I mentioned working, with other business in the community. But that's how we get things done. So I want to come back to the mental health part of it as well. So the East End Partnership is an organizations that are on the East End that work with youth, and they are OLA, they are Hugs, they are Retreat, they are and Riverhead CAP, and I apologize again not mentioning everybody here, but it's a solid group of organizations that work together for the benefit of providing what we need. And we all know that financial resources are limited. So by pooling all of our knowledgeable resources, we're really able to get a lot done. And I brought this up because last year, what was identified through the youth board and through the partnership was that that I hear a lot of times from Stony Brook and from Family Service League that we have a lot of great programs, a lot of great services, and we do. They provide great services. We do provide that. But the youth that needed them were not receiving those same things. They're not hearing that they felt those services weren't offered. So we offered that connection where we were able to bring those services right down to the kids. And we started our first East End Student Mental Health Conference here at the Cultural Center in Southampton, which is another awesome organization that we work with. So we were able to put this mental health conference on, utilizing these organizations, utilizing the facility, the Southampton Cultural Center, and did a whole conference basically for a budget of $0. So this is why community partnerships are so important, because we did an awesome thing and we brought it in for the cost of what our lunch. That's the only thing we had to really pay for lunch. We actually intend to do that same thing again this year, in 2026, going forward. Family Service League reached out to us, and they did receive a grant themselves for $10,000 that they want to say, how can we spend that? And they want to utilize it also for producing this mental health conference this year. So I'm looking forward to that, and that we will, again, last year we included Southampton schools. This year with the 10,000, we included to all the East End schools as well. Okay. partnerships are important, and I know we are the town of Southampton. We care about our youth and our residents here. But I also want to be clear, that we also partner outside of our borders because it actually makes our community stronger. We're also working with the New York State Association of Youth Bureaus has a grant that we applied for under the Long Island region, and we got awarded $7,000 to do a training for youth service providers. So we've been working closely with the town of Huntington and providing a training that's coming up in March, and that flyer also is in your brochure. So this will be.
That's a nice idea. Everybody's experiencing the same issues.
Yes,
right?
exactly, absolutely. And it's also, as I mentioned before, we want to utilize best practices. So what someone sees going on that's actually working in another community, we'd love to bring here and
Sure.
figure out how we can actually make that work here too. So, so the town of Huntington and the Southampton Town Youth Bureau has been working together, putting this conference together in March, and anybody is welcome to come to that as well. It's actually a free conference, of course, provided with this training, and we have some awesome people involved in that. So again, Kim Lauby and Hugs will be presenting. We have Minerva Perez from OLA, which will be presenting. Again, this is a result of our close-knit collaborations that we work together with.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving ahead, for 2026, some of our other priorities, like I said, including a second student mental health conference. And then Michael Iuselli, Councilmember Iuselli, want to thank you for all your support and advocacy, and also in helping us get started with our GSA that we started last year. So our Gender and Sexuality Alliance is working with all of our local schools in Southampton and offering an opportunity to bring those kids together to help them feel like they have a voice as well and they have some say in decision making. In addition to our Youth Advisory Committee, who continue doing community service projects, Youth and Government will be going to Albany in March, for their program. Do you want to talk a little bit did you talk about your bill that you had this year?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you're ready. Sorry, I was paying attention. I just forgot what you said.
Are you all going in next month to Albany?
The Youth Advisory Committee already went, and then this is for, so me and Sophia are just in Yak,
I
as much as I
see.
want to do it there, but she is in, what did you say was it again?
Youth and Government?
Yes,
Is
Youth
that
and
what
Youth
it's
and
called?
Government,
Yeah, so Youth and
And everyone-
Government every year goes for that to present their bills or ideas to the,
Yeah, so Youth and Government, that's right, as Jordan's saying, Youth and Government is going in March, Youth Advisory is going in February.
Yeah.
And then that's that.
What's the bill for this year?
This was so there's many. I think this year we have 8 groups, so each group has their own bills that they're presenting. Mine says attorneys have to take on one pro bono case.
Oh,
at a
I
time.
thought that was last year.
Oh no, this
that
one's
was
this year. This is what we've been working on the past months. Yeah,
Good luck.
Thank
It's
you.
a good thing to
yeah, and it's
have
good
them
practice
do.
and everything. Yeah.
So those are some great programs. And that's,
In the past, just to mention that, is in the past, New York State has used some of the youth bills and have passed them themselves. So you can see the impact that this program can make, so.
that's right. So in the report, it actually speaks about the Youth and Government Program and what we had done. So 2025 Youth Bureau's participation in the YMCA 89th Annual Youth and Government Conference. Youth Bureau's delegation received the seal of state approval for excellence in research, structure, and clarity. 1 bill was endorsed by the youth governor, 2 ranked among the top 10 bills in the committee, and 3 bills were ultimately signed into law by the youth governor. So these accomplishments underscore the power of youth perspective and the value of experiential civic education.
So I just want to kind of thank you all, especially you, Councilman Iuselli, our liaison to the Youth Bureau, for your support. You can see how worthy, it is, and the impact that, it is making on our future generations here.
Yeah, I just want to say that, Tracy, you've done just such a phenomenal job. You're so committed. And Ms. Conklin, your point about the note on the students continually being engaged, you have these repeating customers. I've attended the youth court programs, the Youth and Government, I presented there, and joined your creative programs as well. And a lot of those students just keep going. And it's just so cool to see that they're there. It's not like they're oh, I have to be here. They're there because they want to be there. And that is just so cool to see. And I was just so surprised too, especially your youth court program, how many students go to that. I mean, it's a full house. And I commend everybody that's a part of your team for continually being engaged with these students and helping to form their futures in a very positive way. It's just honestly an invaluable asset to the town, and I can't stress that enough, so thank you.
Appreciate that. And we also want to say with that as well, as you've seen, our programs really are at max capacity right now. And, you know, we've actually been speaking with Kara and also our maintenance team and trying to figuring out how we could utilize our spaces the best we can, because we can't take any more kids in because we're at capacity. So we are looking forward, and we're excited, and thank you for the support, and especially with you, Councilman Powell, moving the West Hampton Center on.
I have a question about that.
Please.
That I'd like to hear from the youth how important it is to have a safe place to meet. Like, you know, that way it makes us easiest to, you know, we're building the one in West Hampton for the youth in the senior center. I think the youth should be before the senior on the sign. Just maybe you can just say in a few words what is important place, because, you know, that way it makes us easiest to build another youth center somewhere else. You know, if, you know, how much it to have a safe place to meet besides the school.
Okay. I think this is super important because me personally, I've seen like all my friendships and everything, every time they're excited like this, when there's youth advisor, they're like, oh, I'm so excited to go to youth and government, I'm so excited to go to youth court, and they're always talking about it in school and everything. They see this space as everyone, and also everyone has a similar mindset in these places, because if they're voluntary there, they are people who want to do help in the community and do so much more in the future with their community and everything. They want to have that opportunity and that space where they can and come up with ideas and everything in one space. So having a space where everyone who has similar mindset can share the ideas freely without being judged, because I think the most important is being able to hear other people's opinions and diverse ideas and everything, no matter what. So having a space where everyone can connect and share these ideas is really important for the future of our community and everything, and also helps develop our future leaders.
I have another question for you. We should have included you in when we laid out the building. If you saw the plan, would you change anything in it for the youth, on the youth side? Have you seen that?
We haven't. There's something we could share in our advisory committee, but we actually have not done that. But that's something going forward.
What we could do is maybe have a survey of the youth as to what they'd like to see available in the new
Yeah, that's
place.
a good idea.
We've started conversations with Superintendent Probst in West Hampton as well.
Oh,
And
good.
she's open to having target groups focus groups in this high school to find out how that center could be used. We just have to schedule those groups and do that. But
Oh,
they-
nice, that's
We
something
have a
you'd
big
coordinate.
backyard there, so we need some input, what we should do in the back.
Yeah, inside and out.
Put you in charge of that.
Hey, you ready to take that on, Jennifer?
Yeah,
I
I'm
can see you doing it. Good.
Where was what you were just reading from about the youth in government?
Youth in government.
The Albany
Yeah,
statistics.
that is under our leadership and civic engagement
Yeah,
section.
but I didn't see what you read about the,
So on the second page, under leadership and civic engagement, and that on 1, 2,
Where you're
3,
talking about
4, the last paragraph talks about the Youth Bureau's delegation and the state approval for excellence.
okay, I see. One bill was endorsed by the governor. 3 signed into law. That's very, very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, just programs like that, it gives an opportunity for youth to realize that they have a voice. And that's what we do in all our programs. And whether we're doing this through direct legislation and teaching them how legislation works, or we're doing this through in our youth court program or however, and everybody expresses themselves in different ways, and sometimes we can't find the words that we need to express ourselves. So that's another reason why we have these music programs too, and we also have our Hampton's Got Talent and competition that'll be coming up, and Michael, you'll be involved in that also. Looking forward to that. But again, these kids are just not up there singing songs, they're up there expressing themselves in the way that they feel. We've had, what was it last year, one of our young men wrote his own songs about his own experiences. And again, it's just another conduit of them being able to express themselves and get out what they need to get out and share.
And I think it's really good that you involve a lot of the creative organizations like East End Arts and our Fabulous Variety Show in all of those different events, so that they're getting professional training as well for some of these things.
No, and like I said, I'm a big partnership on that. I graduated as a social worker with a social work degree, and then coming into the Youth Bureau, okay, what do I know about everything else? Basically, not much. So it's like I've learned from our youth, I've learned from our collaboratives and our organization, our organizers, and I keep learning as well. Every year there's something new. Every year, there's something new that we can learn from in there too. So, and something we also have coming up, and I know, Tom, we'll have to get in with you as well, because I understand that you were part of the Southampton Arts Council, Arts Committee as well.
Right.
So we
Liaison to that.
we've been approached by another organization that also wanted to do an art show, but we also wanted to mix in an educational component to that too. So
That's great.
love to discuss that more.
I'd love to have a chat with you folks and with you folks.
Thank you for your leadership, Tracy and Kara and Kara.
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet all of you.
Coming up to do it.
Look forward to when you folks are on this side of the table.
Yeah.
One day.
that's right.
And last minute, even I've been doing this job for 20-some-odd years, but I can't also tell you how proud I am to have my own children involved in what we do and watch them grow and develop from
Make it a blush.
what they're being offered.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Coming in.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Yeah, the chairs.
Thanks again.
All right, so that brings us to our supervisors, town council member liaison updates. Tom, do you want to get us started today?
Sure. We, briefly, I have, I think, 3 things I'd like to mention. Monday night, Tom Houghton did meet with the North Sea CAC, as we had talked about, regarding the possible composting up at North Sea. Won't get too far into it, but I will say, there were very, diverse opinions. Tom, I think, did a nice presentation, but I think it was also a learning experience for him of, some of the history of what's going on there. There were some, the residents that have been there a long time, expressed some very, legitimate concerns based on history and current practices and things. But what impressed me most of all, and there were, some folks, very in favor of the idea, and some folks that, are very concerned about the ideas. But it was a very respectful, very open, very, I think, positive conversation. And there's, clearly a lot more to do if it were to, possibly go forward. But I thought the tone and the tenor of everybody involved was very good, and certainly we'll see where we go forward. But I thought it was a very good conversation to have, and good, that we went out there and had that meeting. Yesterday, yeah, it was. I thought the way it went was very positive on, and both respectful, all around. Yesterday met with the Community Housing Advisory Board, funding, talk about funding and proposals. Of course, Kara leads that conversation. But I thought, again, that was a very positive meeting. I think going to probably come back at some point in the not too distant future about ways to improve, the program, especially the first-time home buyer program. So again, that's very positive, and I'm sure we'll be talking with Kara more about that. Last but not least, tonight the Office of the County Executive is holding an event to honor, because it is Black History Month. We selected a representative from the town of Southampton. All the towns in the county were invited to select a representative to be honored. I'd like to give a shout out to Bill for his suggestion about Southampton Fire Department Chief Paulus Walker. So he will be honored tonight, which is well deserved. You read his resume, and he's got a great life story. And I'll be going to represent us at Hop Hog tonight for that event.
Thank you, Tom.
Besides, he's a good friend, but he's was born in the community, raised his family.
Yeah.
He's very active in the fire department.
Bridgehampton High School grad, yeah, went up through the rank, joined the fire department in 2007, now he's the chief, so thank you for that recommendation, Bill.
Thank you, Tom. Michael?
Yes, so I'll just do a brief mention that I want to thank Nick Jimenez and the team over in Municipal Works for all the work that they did with wrapping up renovations of the Southampton Animal Shelter, the new flooring, the new septic, all that's getting done. I want to thank Councilman.
kennels.
The new kennels are installed. There was a little bit of a delay there. We all got a little scared, but we sent a letter and we worked through it. I want to thank Jim and his team as well for working through that with us and making sure everything was on schedule. Councilman Pell was obviously a big part of making sure we were on schedule as well. So thank you to everybody involved. I also want to say that tomorrow is the last day that you can donate to our Vets with Pets drive that I'm doing with Councilwoman McNamara. So if you have anything that you would like to donate, such as dog food, dog toys, anything like that, you have our drop-off location here in Town Hall. You also have the West Hampton VFW, the Hampton Bays American Legion, the Hampton Bays Community Center, the Crowan Center in Flanders, and obviously here. And I want to thank also Bill Hughes and the VFW, David Exteribi, and the Hampton Bays American Legion for all their work. Thank you, Councilwoman, for partnering with me on that, and the Southampton Animal Shelter. I also want to say I did attend the Association of Towns with my colleagues. It was a great series of seminars. We heard from Senator Schumer. We heard from Thomas DiNapoli. I know Governor Hochul was there. Many different services that were made available and experts to talk to. Certainly, we heard from experts in the field of planning and housing and how we could integrate new technologies into some of those programs here on a municipal level. It was very interesting and I think worthy of further conversations with all of you. And so that's it.
Thank you. Yes, I did enjoy also going to the Association of Towns, and it's a good opportunity to network, but also, getting information on the latest trends, and there was a good course on AI and using that, making use of that when we do just day-to-day things, RFPs even, and code changes, and so I'm going to be trying some of that out. Thank you. Bill?
I did not go. I stayed home.
But you were doing other things,
I
I'm
was doing
sure.
other things. We were talking to Julie Green downstairs with Matt, and Matt went out on the property on 10 Ferry and walked the property. He's going to come up with some type of plan with a small parking lot and pathways down to the water, maybe a kayak rack, some picnic tables, and we'll bring it back to the board. If the board approves it, then we'll go out to the two mayors, have them take a look at it. And ice is breaking up in the bay, and we're watching it flow, and there's gonna be a lot of driftwood. So if anyone needs any lumber, just look in the water.
It hasn't been like this for a long time, right? That we've had
About
that
10 years.
ice. Yeah,
And there's nothing new on Penny Pond.
not yet, anyway.
Now, we're still waiting for the DEC. Another section of the DEC has to approve it.
Yeah, well, I had a meeting of the Pine Barrens yesterday, and Ryan McGarry is the governor's appointee to the board, but he is with the DEC, and so I mentioned to him that we're having
I
some.
need to have lunch with him because I have
Yeah.
a stack.
Well, I said, could you assign a liaison to us? And he said, just tell me, so we'll put together a list and send it to
I
him.
got like 3
And then
pages.
he'll look into it. Yeah, so that was one good thing that came out of it yesterday.
Thank you for doing that.
Cindy?
So I did go to Association of Towns with all of you. I did bring Bill a gift.
Oh.
That's perfect. Yeah, now you have your own
I was
gavel.
walking by one of the tables and I saw it, I just had to get
I don't
him.
get in trouble having this.
It doesn't make any noise, that's the best part.
That's the perfect gavel for him.
Yes,
He's going to bring that at every meeting now.
I'm gonna bring that.
I was the
Excuse
town's.
me. I can drill this out and put some lead in it so it makes
No,
some noise.
please don't. It's for demonstration purposes only.
Okay.
Um,
When the rude people come.
exactly.
And
I-
it's a stress thing, too.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
squeeze it if you need to.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I was the town's voting delegate at the business meeting. So I won't go through all of them. There were 14 resolutions that were voted on. Just some of the highlights were they always have, the number one resolution is always preserving and supporting home rule within towns. There was one on amending civil service rules to create more efficient hiring processes. One of the things mentioned in that legislative intent was, we have these employees that don't want to take provisional jobs, quite rightly so, because they never know if a test is going to be given, when it's going to be given, and then they're in that job 2 years. We love them in the position, they're great in that position, but then they don't test really well and they don't score well on the test, and then they have to go back to the title they were in. So there is ask for reform on that, to where if you're in there for a certain period of time and the test isn't given within a certain period of time, the town can then make the position, the appointment permanent, because we have to move on and we have to know who people are in these jobs. Another
Always a
one.
mystery why the tests aren't given more.
It's just, we were going through, it was just a very antiquated process. It's just, I mean, as a parent who, on the school board side, worked for reform in testing for our students, and how, these standardized tests don't really capture what you're learning and how you're learning, and everybody learns differently. These civil service exams, a lot of them have absolutely nothing to do with the job that you do day to day and
Very
that title.
antiquated.
So it needs an overhaul. It needs to be reformed, and there needs to be more,
Would the reform, would that require an act of the county legislature or the state legislature?
it would be state. These were all priorities for the state. There's also one to reform inequities in the real property tax cap formula, things like removing healthcare costs from the tax cap calculation because it's so far beyond our control. And then another one that I know Sunday has been advocating for quite some time, I was happy to tell her this was on here, was modernizing the public notice requirements. A lot of people don't get the paper. They either can't afford it, they don't subscribe, or they do everything online. And so they're asking the state to change the regulations so that if you have a .gov website, you can post your public notices on your website, and that's your repository for your public notices, because that's accessible to everyone in every format.
That's a good idea.
So that was on there. And then, I went to some seminars on, one with Tommy John Scavone, actually, for legislative priorities in the Assembly and the Senate. One on reducing healthcare costs, and another one with parks as economic drivers. And it wasn't just parks as economic drivers, but it was also how to capture, your park, and it was actually another using AI tools to find out, your parks, where are people coming from, where are they going to, how to get more people to interact with your parks and use your parks, to help businesses that are local to them. So it was interesting. There was a lot of interesting stuff. But really, I think for me, the conference is more, it's funny because you go into some of these sessions and they're all from upstate, and they're much smaller municipalities, and they're talking about things, and you're 10 minutes into a session going, oh, we did this like 10 years ago. But for me, it's more connecting with people up there. I got to talk to Assemblyman Doug Smith, and just other municipal leaders and things that they're facing. We all have the same issues, just on different scales. So it's always nice to connect with others, and it was funny because, Ryan Murphy they had a red, white, and blue special events in your town, and he was sitting in the front, and they were, this one, like, it was like things like they were thinking of having a 250th celebration. They were going to have fireworks, and they weren't sure, like, the processes, and there was other, like, little events, and Ryan's like, I'm just happy they didn't ask me, and I didn't have to say, yeah, we're hosting the U.S. Open. Because he said even in that, I think you were in it, Tom?
Ryan and I sat together at that
And
seminar.
they said something about you might want to have a special event permit, and he was
There
like,
was a lot of, I think
You might
Ryan
want
could have
that.
given the seminar.
Ryan and I are kicking around the idea of actually presenting next year, so.
Yes.
That was another, they updated the bylaws for, NIAT, and they are changing it now, because when we do these legislative priorities in February, they're already far into the budget process in Albany, so they feel like they're missing out on time. So they're probably going to shift the legislative priorities to a small 1.5, 2-day conference in Albany in September. And then the actual conference next year in the city won't be President's Day week. It will be March 14th. 15th and 16th, and of note, they made a point to say the day after the conference is the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade, so if you need to get out of town, you should probably get out of town.
Why would you leave?
Or you could make an extended stay.
Or go with Jim. We could go with Jim.
I'm sure Jim will be there next year,
Pretty funny. Well, that's great.
so.
Good information, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So if no one else has anything else to comment on, I move to go into executive session for confidential legal advice and personnel matters.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.
I was just gonna switch hers out with that
Yeah.
one.
I did.